All right, everybody. We have another episode of Atlas All Access, but we are here in the Dallas office, and Rich isn't here to stop me from doing whatever I want. So I'm taking over today. With me, I've got Kurt Chase, longtime Atlas guy. I'm really pumped to see him again. So let's get into it. Atlas All Access, starting now. The first thing that we want to talk about is obviously we are in Atlas MedStaff, the Dallas office. Why are we in Dallas? Why does Atlas have an office here?
Yeah, you know, it was initially, it was born about just trying to penetrate a different market. Unfortunately, with timing, we came down and opened the office originally the January before COVID kicked off in March or April. So we had to close the office just like we had to close everything else. So, fast forward that a year and a half, we're just now getting back into the market and trying to penetrate it and do some of the things that we had seen as a vision going forward. Dallas presents a huge opportunity with just, more resources, more hospitals, subsequently more nurses to work with and get next to. So we just saw it as a great opportunity.
Yeah, I think, just driving around like where the office was, I saw Medical City, like they had one of their major office buildings, and I saw Baylor Scott.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's a huge market.
Yeah. So it was the ability to get next to those people, get closer to those people, forge those relationships as we like to do with Atlas. Yeah. So I just it really should be very beneficial to our further growth as far as our company in general.
So you have Dole and I, we've had a chance to kind of hang out with your team over the last couple of days, and you have a much smaller team than the Omaha office because, we just got here. What are some of the differences that you're kind of finding with being down here in Dallas versus like the office and the kind of the atmosphere that we had in the Omaha office? Your team. Tell me about your team.
Well, first and foremost, I'm trying to duplicate what we had in Omaha. Just as well as I do. Our environment is awesome. Yeah. So we're on a much smaller scale, but I am absolutely trying to simulate that whole idea. The thing here, though, where we're probably one of the bigger fish in a smaller pond in Omaha, we're certainly a small fish in a big pond. The idea of travel and travel companies and the whole industry in general, I don't think is on the forefront because you have so many other companies and corporations like headquarters here. So the travel industry, I think, is not on the forefront, but it presents an opportunity for us to go ahead and push that forward.
Okay. So what do you see happening in the next couple of years? What's the next big things for the Dallas team?
Yeah, if everything goes well, right, and unable to predict what is going to happen with the current climate and situation, you take that out of the fold. All I want to do is to make sure that we are progressing forward, but in the right way. And that means, I don't know what that means as far as numbers or growth as far as how large you get. I'm more focused on doing it the right way, continuing on the Atlas tradition. It doesn't matter how big we get, how fast, as long as we continue what we have already put in place as far as handling our business, taking care of our people, and moving along and promoting healthcare and the healthcare workers and this whole industry, then that's what's success for me.
Well, and I think you're doing a really great job. We've spent a couple days with your team, and it's amazing how for a number of recruiters that have never, they're not from Omaha, didn't grow up with Atlas MedStaff Omaha, but it still feels like Atlas MedStaff. So I mean, I think what you're doing to try and translate the culture of Atlas into this office is awesome. Like, they're a ton of fun. They're doing some great work. So
that's why I like you, Braden.
I'm excited to see what happens.
That's why I like it. But again, it comes back to you're down here, Dolan's here, right? It's not just me, it's us. Mm-hmm. So we bestow what we want Atlas to be and instill it into the new people that's here. So it's a team effort, you know? And you and I have talked about that 1,000 times.
Yeah.
So it's not just one person. It has to be us to take care of what we have.
Right. Well, cool. Well, I'm excited to see what happens, you know, with your team going forward. So I'm excited.
He's always excited.
I am always excited. So, you know, but I'm excited for you, Kurt. Come on. All right. So the next segment is industry news. We have TravCon this weekend, and we made, you know, a month ago or several weeks ago, we made what I thought was a fairly easy, but probably not a super well-liked decision to cut down on our pre-party events, you know, just blowing off steam with our nurses, showing them a good time. And with COVID spiking the way that it was, with ICU beds filling up, I think we're seeing it more and more. You know, the idea of hosting big, highly attended parties just wasn't the right thing to do, and so we decided to pull back from that, at least until next year. TravCon is still happening, so obviously people are still going. They're going to be enjoying TravCon. We will be there for the actual conference itself. What do you think? You know, we're trying to balance taking care of our nurses, which is what Atlas has always done. It's why we started going to TravCon the way that we did. Sure. And then also making, you know, kind of the hard decisions that, end of the day, our end customer is always patients, and making sure that patient care is there, and, you know, taking care of kind of the safety of our nurses. So, you know, what do you think that we need to be looking at, and what do you think that nurses need to be looking at going in, you know, that are still wanting to enjoy TravCon? Do you think that there's anything that they need to be doing different than normal while they're there in Vegas?
Well, you know, TravCon, Vegas in general, you know, trust me, and you've been with me when we were there together, it's a great time. And I think everybody enjoys it, and, you know, what have you. And it's a great time to meet with the people that you work with and battle alongside with the whole year, to come together and celebrate that. But, you know, I say that to say this: you always want to err on the side of safety. You know, whether you're there or not there, you know, you take those precautions of safety to make sure that you are not a carrier or a spreader, you know, of the virus. So, you know, whether you go or don't go, that's up to you. That's your discretion. But, you know, from a company standpoint, from a personal standpoint, I would just want everybody to be safe.
Yeah.
And take those measures and steps. Again, regardless of if you go or don't go, you can be safe and still be there. You know, just be safe with what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, just doing what, you know, we've been doing for the last year and a half. Make sure that you social distance where you can, wear your mask if you're able to. You know, obviously getting the vaccine before you go is going to be, you know, probably one of the better options that you can take a look at. So, you know, we've gotten pretty good at this safety thing. I think a lot of people are probably tired of hearing safety, doing all it. So, end of the day, just everybody needs to be careful and just be aware. So,
absolutely. I agree.
And I think that, you know, nurses know how to be careful, and they know how to be safe and protect themselves better than just about anybody. Certainly, probably me and you. So, I think they're gonna be good. And I'm really excited that, you know, a lot of nurses are gonna get a break that they definitely deserve.
Right.
So
Now, you're still going to be there, correct?
I will still be there. So yeah, we still have a small group that's going. Rich, Matt Lawhorn, and I will be there from Saturday until Wednesday. So we are still, financially, we are still taking care of the TravCon event and the committee. So we are still sponsoring the Spouses Lounge outside the main conference. We are still sponsoring the relaxation zone. I saw yoga and I just kind of like blanked out. I'm like, nah. But we are still sponsoring that, and then we are also sponsoring the after conference brunch on Wednesday.
Awesome.
So
Right.
Matt and Rich and I will be there. So if you're there, come find us. I'll be wearing a cowboy hat. I'll be easy to find. And Rich's personality is bigger than any cowboy hat I own. So you'll find us. Alice is still there. So we're going to wrap this up with Rich's opinion. And Rich isn't here to stop me from forming an opinion for him. So I'm interested in your take on this.
Okay.
A hotly debated topic is whether or not a hot dog is a sandwich or not. I think that it is not, or it is at least a subcategory of a sandwich. Hot take, a hot dog is technically a taco. What do you think about that?
Okay. That's a little interesting. So really, I believe you have to do the deep dive. And the only question is bread a taco, or is taco bread?
Oh man. I don't know. What makes a taco shell a taco shell? Does it have to be, because you can have flour, which is obviously in bread as well.
Right.
I've never had a cornbread hot dog. Now we could do that.
It's called a corn dog.
Yeah, that's a good point. Nah, you got me on that one.
So what constitutes a taco, right? What's the ingredients to make a taco? I don't know. That's the question I really would love to know.
I think a taco is some sort of filling in some sort of bread or bread-like, I want to say material, but food, something, as, it has its own built-in holder. I think that's the defining characteristic of a taco, is it is self-holdable meat.
I don't know what the hell you talking about, Braden. But that is a debatable subject, I guess.
I just love watching you try and be serious through all this.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, Kurt, it's been a lot of fun being down here in Dallas, seeing the team that you're building, talking about tacos and hot dogs. But it was great to see you again. We'll see you next time. Rich probably will never let me do this again. So this has been Atlas All Access. We'll see you next time.